Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about transit Pluto conjunct one's natal sun. When we're talking about transits that involve Pluto, they can be about transformation, metamorphosis, power, obsession, control. And when you have transit Pluto conjoin your natal sun, well, it could be about the transformation, getting power, obsession, um, control. It could be in one's life. Um, if this was in the zodiac sign Cancer, which of course won't happen for like eons, it would be that life of introversion and home and family. It could be safety and security. But the thing about it is to keep in mind that the sun can be connected with the physical body. Yes, the ascendant is what dominates the physical body and appearance. In most cases, you will have a different ascendant in contrast to your sun sign, but the sun sign can still factor in to physical related matters. And it could be, this could be about the transformation of the physical body. Um, it can be, I mean, the sun is also about how we shine. Um, it can be where we might be obsessed with shining or standing out. Say if this is in Capricorn, it's in the current transit. Pluto's in Capricorn, of course. It could be standing out or shining in some kind of business, political, or government type matter. It could be something with accounting or dentistry. You have this is also the sun is about our actions as well. So it might be where we may have a little bit more control of how we act at this time, rather than maybe act impulsively or do something in an impetuous manner, where we might face repercussions. It might be more control over it, more so than usual at this time. And the sun is also connected with our basic wants. So the basic wants could be very Plutonian. We might be very more fixated and obsessed with them at this time, but it could also be where where we're talking about our basic wants. It could give more power um, in that and being able to attain them. I mean, if this is happening in Aquarius, it could be things with astrology, computers, electronics, any innovation, new technology, anything Aquarius related. And the sun is also connected with our motivation and drive. So it might be a time too where we might, Pluto is also, remember, it's about obliteration. It's not just about literal death, it can be about figurative death. We might feel some cases it could manifest in our drive and motivation, maybe being eliminated, but it could also give power in that. Remember, conjunctions are neutral. They could go either way. A lot of this, whether it manifests positively or negatively, could be predicated on the aspects this makes to other points in your natal chart. Um, and the sun is also connected with our vitality, with our energy as well. And again, it could be about having more power in that, in our vitality or in energy, but it could also feel where it might be destroyed, or it could even be a rebirth, and it could be about revitalization. It could be a time too where if we were, kind of recharging for a little bit, and just kind of taking a break. It could be about that resurrection of that energy that maybe had been dormant for some time. Now, it's also about our will as well, our willpower to be connected with the sun. And it might be a time where you might feel really, it could be a rebirth in that. It could be we might be upset, you might be obsessed with showing your strength of character, your willpower, if you will, at this time. It could be a time too where you feel that your will might be eradicated in some cases. Remember, as I stated before, Pluto is not just about the literal death, it can be about figurative death as well. And keep in mind that the sun is also associated with the biological father and children. In some isolated cases, it could manifest in the death of one or more of these people at this time, but you might find these people might be more domineering, controlling, more so than usual. Now, anatomically speaking, I mean, the sun is connected with the heart, the spine, and the upper back, and also the physical body in general. So it might be a time where you might, this could be about very, I don't know if they have any kind of spinal replacement. I mean, I believe there are heart transplants in some cases. Remember, Pluto is about surgery and it's about transformation. Some isolated cases may perhaps just manifest in some kind of replacement of the heart. It may be something, the spine, where something was really, it could be a very strong injury to it, um, or the upper back as well. This is something, it could be, say if it's in the third house in your natal chart, it could be something that was connected with a motor vehicle accident. Now, and especially if this is making an adverse aspect to Mars at this time, because Mars, of course, could be associated with accidents. The sun is also connected with our focus, our attention, our concentration of energy, what we're focusing and concentrating on. So it can be a time where it can be a very good period for that, because Pluto is very obsessive, fixated energy, and the sun is about, can be connected with our focus and what we put our attention on. So it could be a time for you where you're very focused, more so than usual at this time. And another way too that this could manifest and pan out, this about could be about, again, gaining control and power in your life at this time. And it could be something where, I mean, say if it's in, going back to Capricorn, because that is the current transit of Pluto at the time of this video, is that it could be connected with structure and discipline in one's life, as an example. Um, and it's also to, this could be a time where you might be more inclined to impose your will on others. I mean, keep in mind, Pluto can be very imposing energy. It's very powerful. And Sun is connected with the will. Say if this was happening in Sagittarius, it could be in sports competition. If it's in the seventh house is competition. If it's transpiring in the seventh house, it could be in some form of competition. In a lot of cases, it could be sports, and Scorpio might be extreme sports. Now, and also too, now in some cases too, this might be expressed in some kidnapping or some coercion or the bullying, which is Pluto, of a child or even a father. And say if you have a father that's elderly and he's debilitated, or if he's in, he might be in some an elderly, I don't know which the place for the elderly people that when they're being taken care of. It can be something where something like this could happen. Pluto is associated with coercion and bullying. The sun is associated with children and the biological father. And it could be too, in some cases as well, you might be more fixated and obsessed with your self-expression. Say if it's in Pisces, it could be some self-expression through poetry or abstract art, dancing, maybe through the metaphysical, which includes astrology. It can be a time too where this could also manifest in Pluto-related things that you want to do. It can be connected, for example, with investigation or deep research, the occult, which includes astrology. It can be something too. Looking at this, I mean, Pluto can be associated with crisis. The sun is connected with the identity. In some cases, it may manifest in a crisis with the identity. It may not necessarily be about questioning who you are, though in some cases it may manifest that way. But it could be some kind of crisis, like with your identification. Say if this falls in Aquarius, which it will in like a few years or so. It can be something, or even the 11th house, it could be some loss of your identity, perhaps through social media, the internet. It might be through some cyber crime, or maybe somebody got your identity, is trying to impersonate you in some isolated cases. Remember that this transit doesn't even happen for everybody in a lifetime. If it happens to you, if this transit does occur for you, that will be the only time it's going to happen. And we're talking about Sun being one of the major proponents in the horoscope, and Pluto I mean, very slow transit. It traverses all 12 signs very slowly, and a lot of people won't even have this. I won't have this transit because my sun sign is in Cancer, and when I was born, Pluto was in Virgo. So you could do the math. It's not going to happen for me. Pluto's now in Capricorn. I will be fortunate if I maybe if I could even get to the transit Pluto in Pisces. I probably will be around for the one in Aquarius, but not like. But the Pisces is kind of iffy. But anyway, hold on a moment, people. And another thing too. I mean, this could be sadly the obliteration or destruction of one's spirit. I don't just mean the literal spirit in the body, but your own spirit, and you could be feel like it might, um, you know, things that are connected, with your motivation and drive. You might feel it might be destroyed, but at the same time, it could revive your spirits as well. It can be a time, also, again, it can be that I stated before that it can be connected with the death of the biological father or child, but also remember it can be the self in some cases. Um, the thing about this transit is when, I mean, keep in mind the sun is about life and Pluto is about death, and it's not to be overly morbid or morose or negative, but it can manifest that way in some cases. Now, the thing about this too, and it can be about physical related issues at this time that might require some surgery. In isolated cases, say if this was in Sagittarius, it could be something with the liver, the pancreas, or the sciatic nerve. Um, it could also be a Pluto-related physical issue or debilitation at this time. It could be something with the colon, the prostate, the bladder, or the reproductive system. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.